Good morning, everybody. AZ is here first. Paul Hodges may not be joining us this morning. He had a couple of things he had to do, and but he said he might pop in from his truck. I have to leave here about 10:30. I got to take Mia to get her. Ooh, wait a minute. What do you mean? Little bit of a computer glitch. All of a sudden, my screen went up. Video not available. Don't know what that means. Edward Hessick, how you doing? Good morning. The sun's out today, but the snowstorm's arriving sometime late this afternoon or this evening, and it's going to go through all day tomorrow. Mia, what you doing? Mia's been kind of scratching her ears. Not good. But she's going at 11 o'clock to have her nails trimmed, so I may have them check that as well. Yeah. Yeah, it could be AZ, but I haven't. Yeah, it's just acting weird. It just all of a sudden went to full screen on my end. It didn't show the chat. I had to exit back out again. Well, it is what it is. But David, I did get a chance to go fly last night. I got another night one with the Autel Nano Plus. I'm so amazed at the camera capabilities of the Nano. In low light nighttime. So I don't know if anybody's going to join me today or not, or whether we're just going to be hanging out here together. Let me show you what the yard looks looking like here right now. Here's my driveway pan cam. My little squirrel buddies getting their peanuts. Yeah, AZ, I'm just amazed when I go down and shoot it because it it just is so much color to it. The only thing I do to it when I get it back is I might lighten it a little bit because it's a little darker in the recorded version. But I'm shooting in auto. In fact, let me show you the raw versus what was put up there. Let's see who was that last night? That was the Whitefish Bay. Okay. Share. Okay, David, here's the raw video. A little bit dark, as you can see, but the quality is good. Okay, so now what I'll do is let me show you the finished product. Where I lightened it up a little. You can see it lightened it up pretty good so that you could actually make out a little bit better of the details. And it's strictly with just increasing the light. I didn't do any color change or anything like that. I know that some of the guys that are very good at it can edit all of that. But the colors, the colors of the from shore really help make it pop. Well, interesting you should ask that about the new one I got. I haven't flown the brand new combo package. It's sitting over here. But the replacement drone is working much better. However, the replacement drone that I got, because they just sent me just the drone. When I started up, it says it gives you the checking the gimbal or whatever, and it's the gimbal's doing a little flutter like this. Once I arm it and take off, it seems to settle down. I don't quite understand that. Good morning, One Vision. Yeah, so I don't quite get that, but it is what it is. Paul Hodges is probably picked up as Tim Hortons, or I think what he was planning on doing, he had a couple of signs to do today, but he was going to go. Some of the drivers were going to go have breakfast, I think, is what he said. So he said he might try and join from his truck. I do not know. And it's going to be not a long morning anyway here, because I have to take Mia to get her nails trimmed, and she's got an appointment this morning. But that's not for a little while. Probably in about an hour and 15 minutes, 10:30, I'll take her up there. And I think I've used up mostly all of my ice melt, my calcium chloride ice melt. And so I need to probably buy another bag, especially with the snow. We're supposed to get anywhere from 4 to 7 inches in the next day or so here. Not good. The Alpina is downbound. Hanging with JD, how you doing? Yes, Paul is a very social person. That's for sure. You know, ever since he lost his wife, I get it, and I encourage it. Wayne B. The let me go over here. Chat. Okay. There's a few ships rolling around. That's the Whitefish Bay, the one I did last night. That's the Algoma Intrepid is headed for Goderich over here. This is the Alpina. Downbound, it's doing almost 13 knots. And it's just off White Rock, north of Forestville. And it's the oldest ship on the Great Lakes, and they really take good care of it. I'll show you some pictures of it. Built in 1944, I think. Tell you what, I'm so sick and tired of this pop-up BS. Stop share. Yeah, AZ, what it does is it pops up on my screen. Just as a pop-up, McAfee, and I don't have McAfee. I haven't had McAfee for quite some time. And yet it's demanding that I pay them $75 to continue. Yeah, it's really a hassle. There comes Justin.
What's up, Paul?
Hey, Justin, how you doing?
Good. I just got all the way to St. Cloud. Now they want me. I have to wait and see if I got to go all the way back to Bartow, which is like 2 hours away for an emergency. Oh, it's a pain in the ass. They would have called me like 30 minutes ago. I could have turned around, but
Well, they got a good man in you, and they're going to use the hell out of you.
yeah, I'm gonna wait and see what they do here in a little bit. I'm waiting for them to call me right back. Because unfortunately, our spare RMLD is locked up at my boss's house, but he's on the way up to Fernandina. So that's a 4.5 hour drive. So, or 4 hour drive or so. So that ain't gonna help.
No, that's not good.
Because his house isn't that far from Bartow. So, but unfortunately, ain't nobody at his house. So, we'll wait and see. Give me a second.
Okay. Hey, Jody, how's it going? Hanging with JD is in here, and he's been doing his rocket flying. JD is auditioning to be the new Rocket Man. In fact, that's the music he ought to put on his rocket flights. Yeah, he just got out on site to where he was supposed to be working today, and he got a call from the office. He may have to turn around and go back 2.5 hours because of an emergency. I don't know what's going on, so I'm sure that's what the call is about.
All
Oh,
right, I
right,
guess
the
I don't
last
have to
one.
go to that.
You don't have to go back?
No, because FPU has their own RMLD, so they just don't ever use it. So Billy's gonna pick up theirs and go and check it himself because he's the only other one that's like able to use that machine that's licensed for it. So, but he's already in Bartow, so he's just gonna run to the FPU office and pick it up real quick because he's only like 20 minutes from the office. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be a bugger if you had to drive 2 hours back.
I mean, I really wouldn't care either way because Bartow's only like 20 minutes from my house, so it wouldn't really bother me anything. I'd just be right back in my own area. But that's the thing is like I told him he was like man he goes me and Gary both forgot you were over in St. Cloud for the next couple of weeks. I said yeah, and then I told Billy, I said, well, you just need to get that spare RMLD and leave it in your truck for situations like this instead of having it just sitting at Rod's house. You know, actually put it in your truck and just leave it in there, keep it charged up.
Right.
Because that would definitely help for sure.
A little bit of pre-planning, right?
Right, because like I said, he's the only other one that's actually licensed and allowed to use that machine. So it makes sense for him to have the spare one with him for emergency, just in case I'm too far away.
Hey, Filipina, how you doing? Lila, welcome. Filipina is in the chat.
Filipina and everybody else who's in there can't see the chat at the moment.
JD is here. Mike Rennick's here. Drone shots.
Jody, Mike,
AZ. Yeah.
David.
Ed Hassick was one of the first ones in. Yeah, Paul Hodges had to go. I think the bunch of the bus drivers were going to go have breakfast and coffee somewhere. So he didn't have full details. I think it was a last minute to do. And
Oh, it's probably. Well, I'm wondering if it was his little goodbye breakfast from all his friends or something.
I don't know. He wasn't sure either, but they specifically, I guess, invited him to go. So that's where he was going to go this morning. Ed Hassick says hello to everybody.
Where? Shit, where's this place at? Oh, it's just not bad. Yeah, I wouldn't have really cared to have to drive back, but they would have had to wait on me for about 2 hours. I know they don't want to wait that long, so.
What did they say? What were they going to investigate?
Yeah, they're gonna, like I said, Billy's gonna do the leak survey for it. So since I can't get there quick enough.
So it must be an underground leak?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a hit line underground. They just don't know where. Sometimes they don't know where it's at though, because sometimes when they're boring to put like fiber optic or different cables underground, they'll use a boring machine. So they don't actually dig a ditch; they just bore underground.
Right.
Sometimes they'll hit a line and they'll start smelling it, but they don't know where, within that 100 yards.
Where it hit, yeah.
Because I'd say about every 60 to 80 yards, they dig a little hole just to spot the lines, see where they're at. But sometimes those boring machines don't go in the direction that they want it to go, and sometimes it will hit stuff, and then that's what happens. So.
Well, I would imagine that boring snake goes down, and if it hits tough stuff, it bites in. If it hits loose stuff, it can wander.
Right. It's just like it's just like a little, drill bit running through the ground.
Yeah.
So it will just drill right through whatever's in its path. I mean, it'll go right through cement. And like I said, unless you're super experienced with one of those, you don't know exactly where it's going all the time.
Well, hopefully they'll figure it out, get it patched up. There's all kinds of speculation about a new DJI and different things, but I haven't seen anything that really indicates that there is one coming shortly. But if you go by past releases, usually around the CES, they release one, and then shortly thereafter, they'll release something else just to stay in the game.
Well, like I said before, I think their next release is going to be some kind of Air 3. That's the only thing that makes sense. They came out with a new Mini, a new Pro.
Yeah. Justin Filipina says, Justin, have you changed your channel name, or you have another channel, which is the Drone Gaming RP?
No, it's the same channel. I just kind of settled on that name. So I was trying to come up with a name, and I kept kind of bouncing around, and I kind of like that one, so I just stuck with that one.
So in other words, if they were to put in the search,
yeah, if you put Droner Gaming space RP, just put a space, it will come up.
Okay. Put a space and not the dash, right?
Yeah, you can just put a space. You don't have to put the dash. Oh, by the way, if anybody's interested, McDonald's brought the bagel sandwiches back.
They have a what?
The bagel sandwiches that they took away.
Oh, yeah. I used to like the steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
Oh, those were my favorite. They brought them back.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of the fast food restaurants like really slimmed down their menus during COVID. to kind of make it easier on the staff and ease up on the, the amount of foods they had to cook and all that. And that was one of the things that McDonald's asked, but they ended up bringing it back. So.
Well, you know what I used to enjoy too, and I'm not big on salad, but every once in a while I want a salad, was McDonald's used to have a hell of a chef salad. You could just go pick it up, but
Right.
they don't do that anymore.
I said, check their menu next time you're in there because they brought a bunch of stuff back. Because like Taco Bell was one of the worst ones. They cut like half their menu. Like they cut a lot of stuff out when COVID hit.
The old Taco Bell.
I didn't know they brought all that stuff back to McDonald's either, so I saw it. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know that they brought it back either until I pulled in the drive-thru the other day, and I was like, "Holy crap! It was on the menu."
Well, that's good.
That was my favorite bit.
Yeah, I used to get that, not a lot, but if I wanted a little something, and then I switched over to the burritos, the breakfast burritos that they have over there. And
Yeah, I like those sometimes.
some of them are really good, and sometimes they're pretty dried out.
I like their picante sauce that they have for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that before too, where I got a burrito and it was like one end of it was like hard as a rock. Like Jesus, it's been sitting in the heater for too long.
Yeah, Marshall, Arizona Street Media says Wendy's has the best salads. Hey, David, or Bill from Newfound Drone Productions. Bill is in the house.
What's up, Bill? Normally, see, I don't ever go to fast food places and get salads. Like, if I want a salad, I'll go to Walmart and get one. Or I'll go to Publix and get like one of their pre-made ones.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we'll just go to Walmart and we'll get like, get all the ingredients and make our own salad.
Right.
I usually don't go to fast food places and get salads. I don't think I ever have, to be honest with you.
Well, I kind of like just Mabel's drive-through. I stopped yesterday at Bell Tire and got a price on 2 new front tires.
How much are those going to run you?
About $500.
Jesus Christ, the price of tires have gone up.
Yep.
I remember about 8 or 9 years ago, I took my dad's Z71 in to get new tires on it. 4 new tires. And I want to say it was like $1,200 or $1,400. I can imagine what they would cost now. Probably twice that.
$465.52 for 2 tires on the front of my Tahoe.
Jesus.
You got that steak egg bagels, right?
Yeah.
Hey, David.
Park station. And I'm gonna go into I'll get my first stop.
So how's Laura doing this morning?
And I have no safety meeting today, I guess.
Yeah, she's all right.
She's just all right?
She'll be in the chat in a minute.
Oh, okay.
I cannot get Zoom to work my camera.
What's up, David?
All right, Justin.
Oh, do you see what Bill Newfound Drone says? Well, I got to say, I am totally pissed right off here this AM. After waiting 2 weeks for his 3D printer, I think that they lost the package.
Oh,
And I'm so mad at Canada Post.
yeah, I'd be really annoyed.
Well, what's annoying, what I can see is frustration too, because you got to remember Bill lives on an island, and
Yeah.
you know anything he orders from Amazon doesn't just get there in 2 days like we get to enjoy.
Right.
You know, he has to wait usually a week or two before he gets his shit. So when you're waiting that long and you're all excited, and then all of a sudden you just don't get it, something stupid happens, I could see why he'd be so pissed. Because
Well,
you know we take that 2 day shipping for granted here. Because I get super pissed when they lose my package after a day and a half.
I'll just be right back. I don't know what
Okay.
what's
All
going
right.
on with him.
I'll feel you on that, Bill.
Well, I'm back, but it's still not liking my camera.
Didn't you say you were having issues with your camera
Yeah,
the other day? Might be going out.
yeah. Can't even.
I had
can't
one that had a
even Zoom.
short in the cable, and it kept doing that.
Yeah, everything I do with Zoom, it just keeps freezing. But I know they've done an update.
AZ says, how in the hell can they lose a 50-pound package?
Now, oh, right. You want feedback? You can
I
have
mean, he's got
feedback.
a point. Felt like he was waiting on a little envelope to get there.
AZ said that you got to remember his computer, Justin, was lost for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Zoom wanted feedback, so I gave it them. I put fix it,
UPS is,
effing crap.
and you know, UPS is lucky they found that, because that would have been a big fuck up for them, because that David had insurance on it. That would have cost UPS $5,000.
Wow.
So it's a good thing they did find it, because UPS would have had to pay for that.
But you know what? It's probably an astronomical figure. How much money is paid out by UPS or USPS or whoever, FedEx, in the course of a month? Claims.
Well, think about how many claims don't go. You know what I'm saying? Think about how much money they make off of people buying the insurance, and the package makes it safely.
Exactly.
That money still goes to UPS, so UPS probably makes 10 times more than they lose on that insurance.
Yep.
I mean, they wouldn't do it if they didn't make money off of it. It's just like when you buy the insurance on any product. You know, you go to Walmart, you pay that $2 for the 1 year extended warranty on the product, and
Right.
you might forget about it or something when it breaks a year and a half later. And Walmart just got that $2 for what? Nothing. Because you did never file a claim on it.
Swift Fox lives near Disney.
You what?
Swift Fox, Ed Hassick asked Swift Fox where he lives. He says in Florida near Disney.
Yeah, he's in the Orlando area.
Yep.
Me and him have
Just so
talked about
you
that
guys
before.
are aware, if you've ordered anything from the United Kingdom in the last 2 weeks, yeah, or in the near future for the next probably 2 weeks, then I'm afraid you ain't getting it.
Oh, they still having issues hack.
Yeah, they can't fix it. What's happened with Paul's Zoom? Paul seems to be zoomed out.
What's that?
Your Zoom is zoomed out again.
Yeah, I know. It keeps going crazy like that.
Why do they keep changing things? Once it works, it works.
Well, it's like a lot of products. Whenever they do an update, it might fuck up the settings, and you have to go back and reset everything.
Zoom is really munching my bloody processor. Not telling me why. Zoom using 74%. Jesus.
Yeah, Swiftbox is only like an hour and a half for me. If that. I-40 has such shitty traffic, it wouldn't even be that far for me. That's the only reason it would take so long to get to where he's at.
Oh, so my mic is a little blown out?
No, he's talking about your camera.
Oh. Oh, yeah, it's, I'm facing the south and I have just those little blind things down, and that's why you can see where the ropes are, right there.
Well, it's not that, it's zoomed in again too.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
see your whole TV like normal.
JD, I'll put you $200 on it that it is Zoom. They did an update when I clicked it earlier and it screwed. I mean, why is it using 96% of my processor? The hell's going on?
What did JD say?
He put, David, I will bet a hefty sum of money that the issue isn't Zoom's fault, lol. Every time I click something, it goes, do you want to leave the meeting? Fucking hell.
Zoom always uses a lot of resources. They only use about 20% of mine. When
No,
it's
it's
running.
dropped down to 90%.
Yeah, it only uses about 20% of mine, but it's a good chunk. When I am
Okay.
sure.
It's obviously doing something in the background. Yeah, I came up with a message about exciting changes. I'll give them
I
excitement.
wonder if it's another update I'll have to do because I did an update on Zoom about 3-4 days ago. I wonder if it's the same update you got.
Why do I have an option for missed calls? Who calls through Zoom?
Fucking allergies are kicking up again. Yeah, Zoom used to beat up on my laptop pretty damn good back when I used that for streaming. It'd get up to like 60-70% on the.
Hell, you can opt out of that pile of crap. Zoom mail and calendar client is beta is live.
But my new computer, it kicks ass. It only uses like anywhere between 15-20%.
Upgrade to Zoom 1 Pro and save 30%. Upgrade to nothing.
Because actually, to get into my gaming server, I have to run 3 different programs as I'm playing. I have to run Discord, TeamSpeak, and I have to run the NVIDIA software that does the screen recording. And I don't have any issues running all three of those plus 5M too. So I'm running 4 pretty decent sized programs at once, and I don't really ever have any problem.
It's sending me through some initial setup crap.
Oh God, Edward, or Swift Fox, I hate the freaking traffic in your area. Freaking horrible. It's getting worse in our area too.
Dawn hell is all this about? Verified tax exemption. What con?
Oh, Dustin, you can use that battery charger as a battery bank too for your phone and stuff. By the way, I don't know if you really looked at it or not, but you can put the 2 mini 1 batteries in there and use that as a little mini battery bank. Actually got me through before I got my my inverter. That's what got me through one of the hurricanes. I was able to charge my phone on it twice. Now you know what I do when there's a hurricane, Paul?
What's that?
Take a box. I grab the battery out of my work truck in the car. I bring them in the house, and I just hook my converter up to it. And I can plug my phones and everything into that.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
run it off the car batteries.
Swift Fox says in the chat he got rained on yesterday. I was asleep and it started. I'm kind of homeless. Everything was wet, so I had to put the stuff out to dry. What a day. But I'll survive. Sorry to hear that, Swift Fox.
Did you end up getting that? Didn't he end up getting that job at Disney?
I don't know.
Remember last time he was in the chat, he was talking about a job at Disney World. That was a Mini 2, JD, not an Air 2S. That was a Mini 2 Flymore.
Air 2S, yeah, no, I didn't get it yet. No signs or whatever.
Yeah, but that was a Mini 2 Flymore, wasn't it?
Mini 2, it was the Air 2S Flymore package with a smart controller.
Oh, I thought that was a Mini 2.
No,
Okay.
Air 2S with a smart controller.
Yeah, I would just, like everybody said, keep an eye on your cards because they might not even be, they might just be getting people's credit card information and storing it. So it's probably a good thing you used a card that only had like $100 limit.
Yeah.
Because if it would have been one that had like a $3,000-$4,000 limit, you'd have been dealing with a whole bunch of shit later on. Better grow about 2 inches, JD. on hold for a background check. Jesus, isn't that like a month and a half ago you were telling us about that? Jeez, Louise. A long time. Normally companies get all that done within like a week.
Yeah, there's what I supposedly ordered.
Yeah, I think that website's just storing the credit card information everybody puts in there. Like,
But-
honestly, though, they would probably get more people to scam if they didn't put the price so damn low.
But see,
You know
look
what I'm saying?
here. See here, the box that says only one left in stock. 50 people are viewing it right now. And it says P. Murray from bought this on January the 24th. Well, Patty or something. It's not me. Bought it on the 24th.
Oh, yeah, JD, I've watched those videos. They are hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they'd probably be better off scamming people if they didn't put the price so low. Put it at like, you know, $400 or $500. They probably get a lot of people putting their credit card in there. Yeah, those videos are hilarious, though, JD. I've watched a whole bunch of those. Was that David back again? Oh, Ron. What's up, Ron? Yep.
Hey, Ron, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
He's in the hangar with the helicopter.
Yeah, I'd peek my head in the door and say hi for a couple minutes.
You had any calls?
No, not yet. Well, here for 24 hours, so something's bound to happen, I'm sure.
Yeah, and JD, the movement of that that Megatron too, like the movements of them are really cool.
So what do
Yeah,
you, Ron, you're sitting there with a pilot and another partner for back end stuff?
Yep, just the three of us. One big happy family.
Hey JD, if you want to insult people for a living, go work at Dick's restaurant. You talk about some funny videos. Watch some of those.
I thought it was a co-owner.
Do what?
Actually, he can't go and work there. They're not going to allow him to work off the keyboard, are they?
Have you ever watched the videos from that restaurant?
No.
Oh my God, they're actually, the waitresses actually just do nothing but insult you and call
we've
you
got them
names.
places
It's
over
fucking
here now.
hilarious. Do what?
We've got these sort of places over here.
Yeah, over here they're called Dick's. Is one of the restaurants that does it.
Dick's?
But they're funny as hell though.
Yeah, but you see, nobody wants to go into a restaurant to be insulted online from a keyboard warrior. It'd be no good.
JD can run their Twitter page for him.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Wendy's Restaurant's Twitter page? You
No.
want to talk about ruthless? Oh my God, dude, they are the biggest troll, one of the biggest troll accounts on Twitter. The Wendy's fast food restaurant. Their Twitter account is hilarious. Like they just sit and they make fun of all the other fast food restaurants, but their comebacks When people
Really?
go in there and talk crap to them are hilarious. Yeah, go watch go read out the Wendy's Twitter page.
Who does that, Justin?
The Wendy's restaurant, the fast food restaurant, Wendy's.
Really?
Their
Wow.
Twitter page is one of the biggest trolling pages on Twitter. It's hilarious.
Huh.
They talk all kinds of crap about McDonald's and Burger King. And that would be perfect for JD. Go work for Wendy's Twitter. Do their social media side. JD said not supposed to show the helicopter on stream, Ron.
What's that?
That's not some kind of rule, is it? You're not allowed to show your helicopter on the stream?
Well, your personal helicopter, you
No.
don't want to put it on stream, but the air ambulance, there's nothing, no regulations about that.
No. No. We do a lot of social media and public relations stuff. We did Cub Scouts today, and took pictures and put it up on Facebook and so as long as it's all professional and they're all good with it.
You sound a little bored there today, Ron. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I'm
you
so
do
tired.
it. You could
Well,
sit
that's-
there for 24 hours a day, kind of like, and just waiting in anticipation.
I got a lot to do though. I just
Oh, you're still working on your education, I would imagine. Your
You just
Con Ed.
can you just get the Zoom
continuing
update?
education. He's gone.
come
He's
back.
back.
Nope, I should be back.
Yeah, how you doing on your continuing education? You're frozen.
Well, it keeps him
Now
entertained.
he's back.
Oh, now I'm back.
Now you're back.
All right.
Hey,
Well-
JD, go check that link out.
So you're working on your continuing education, Ron?
Yeah, I completed that one big course, 48 hours,
Wow.
done. And then there's more to go, but at least that one big course is done. I have to have that done by September. But I'm glad it's done.
Yeah, if any of you guys want to check out that link, that's I think it was either the 25 or 35 best Wendy's comebacks on Twitter.
Yeah, Justin posted it in the chat.
I wonder if the other like Wendy's and I know a lot of McDonald's, like they're all like individually owned. And they just had this story I saw on YouTube the other day. There was one down in Texas somewhere that shut down just because nobody wanted to go there anymore. There was so much homeless and so many drug deals and robberies right there in that half a block that the owner just said, "That's it, I'm done," and shut it down. Said you couldn't even walk out of McDonald's and they're bumming, "Hey, do you have any change?" And it was
McDonald's.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think they're all privately owned.
Yeah,
There's
the majority
corporate
of them are
stores.
franchises, yep.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
corporate stores and then there's franchise stores. There's both. But McDonald's was smart about it. They became landowners because what they do is McDonald's finds the best location possible for you because they do a lot. McDonald's is actually one of the best companies that does studies where the best places to put a McDonald's are. And that's because McDonald's will buy the land and then lease it to the owner for 20 years.
Yeah. A friend of mine used to own a McDonald's and he kind of did that privately, kind of like that one show, that Undercover Boss. He never, he just kind of disguised himself and went in there one day, and you know, he was telling me a story. He walked in. By the time he walked out, he said, you you don't work here anymore. Goodbye."
Well, see, the problem with keeping quality in stores like that, though, is a lot of times, you know, they're minimum wage. The kids don't. It's a lot of high school type kids, so they don't really have an investment in the company.
They're not career employees.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, do you want to put, you know, most kids don't feel invested in a company like that because it's not a company where people really make a lot of careers out of it. You know, unless you're becoming a store manager, what career is really in McDonald's? I mean, besides like a corporate job, I mean.
You know what's sad though is you guys remember the girl I dated a year or so ago, Nancy?
Yeah.
She works. She lives on the other side of South Dakota. She's 20 years plus experience as a paramedic. She works as a paramedic part-time, and she works in our dispatch full-time. But the part-time job she has with the ambulance, and her and I have had numerous discussions, I'll put it that way. And I just can't believe she still stays there and works. They're only paying her $12 an hour.
Holy shit.
And I told her, I used to sit there and I'd go to McDonald's, I go to these convenience stores, and I'd take pictures of the signs that they would have, you know, starting wages. You know, one convenience store in Sturgis, it was a $2,000 or $2,500 sign-on bonus and $17 an hour. And I'd take pictures of that and I'd send it to her to piss her off. I mean, here she is. She's in a job that, my God, you're so responsible for saving lives and taking care of people medically. And here you can go in and flip burgers for $4 or $5 an hour more. Yeah, no responsibility. Making sure you have a burger.
Well, see, that hasn't been the case here yet. The fast food places here are still paying a lot less than like normal good paying jobs. The highest I've seen the wage here for McDonald's is $12 an hour, which, I mean, it's not bad, but that's not enough to live off of for sure.
But even up here in Podunk, North Dakota, like over in Dickinson, I mean, that's a remote area, you know, and there's signs out in the parking lot for cashiers, $18 an hour starting. Yeah. You know,
because David was talking about that in his area. They were starting them off at like, I want to say 16 or 18 or some shit like that an hour. So I took a picture one day when I was driving by McDonald's. When I was going through the drive-thru, I saw they had a sign out there and it said $12 an hour. And I took a picture of it and sent it to David. I said, see, they're not paying them that much here.
And part of the problem with these ambulance companies, and I kind of partially believe it's all about reimbursement. You know, the one company, Spearfish, I would go work there and quit the part-time job in Hot Springs. Now, Hot Springs is paying me, it's not bad, but it's also a damn near 3-hour drive to get there. Spearfish is 45 minutes, but I can't get that guy to pay me what I'm worth. And I told him, I said, you're offering me a wage that I started at 25 years ago. I'm not working for that.
Well, see, that's the problem, though, is sometimes your age and your experience can actually be your downfall.
I know.
Because, you know, some companies will look at, you might only be like a 15, 20-year investment to them where, you know, some 22-year-old kid comes in, oh, that's a lifetime employee that we could get squeeze 40 years out of and start them off at the lowest wage we can. You know what I'm saying? And train them the way we want. And that's the way a lot of companies look at it. So sometimes, you know, just being a little older and having experience can actually be your downfall in some cases.
Yeah. He, one of the reasons he gave me, he said it, you know, we base our wages based on our overhead costs and our reimbursement. You know, Medicare, Medicaid, you know, their insurance reimbursements. And I don't know. Don't know how much of that is true or not.
And see, look, like Al said, an In-N-Out burger in California, they're paying $20. But
Really?
$20 an hour in California isn't even that much. I mean, look how much your state tax and everything is.
Yeah.
I mean, is that even really enough to live comfortably off of? Probably not. Because
No.
of the cost of living. Now, if you were making $20 working in like fucking Minnesota or somewhere, in the the states in the middle of the United States that don't have a lot of big cities and population, dude, you'd be making bank.
Yeah.
Where you could get a house for $700 a month, get a 3-bedroom house. You're not going to get that anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's all about the cost of living on the hourly. Because there's some people in New York who make $25 an hour working at McDonald's. That don't mean that they're living good.
Nope.
Well, my first job was £2.80 an hour.
My first job was $1.65 an hour.
See, if you were making $20 an hour where I live at, you would be living pretty comfortable. You'd be right on the cusp of comfortable, but it would be not quite there, but you'd be a lot better off than some people. Now, if you
It's
live in
amazing.
my area and you have a couple making $20 an hour each, yeah, you'd be living pretty good.
It's amazing, how you can go I went 2 hours west from South Dakota into Wyoming. My truck insurance, it went down $600 a year. My motorcycle insurance cut in half. Just things like that. Just going 2 hours away. Yeah, granted, it's in the state, but
See, you guys have minimum wage, don't you? But it's not an official minimum wage because waiting on staff don't have to be paid that because they class the tips as part of the pay.
Well, we have a federal minimum wage that all states have to abide by, and then each state itself has its own minimum wage that is higher usually than the federal minimum wage. So each state can set their own minimum wage, but they have to at least meet the minimum wage of the federal minimum wage. They have to at least be at that or higher, and they can go higher if they like.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only industry that's really affected by minimum wage or it would be like the restaurant industry. Yeah, but most jobs don't do that.
Yeah, because over here, minimum wage is minimum wage, and your tips are separate. No matter what you do.
And the restaurant industry is actually one of the hardest industries to get into. They say like 95% of restaurants fail in their first year. Like it's a tough business to get into. For sure.
I've watched Gordon Ramsay in the USA. Some of them places. Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's and a lot of those places were only staying afloat because the person that owned it was worth a couple million,
Yeah.
But they were getting into debt really fast over the course of a 2-3 year period.
Yeah, there was the other night when Gordon Ramsay opened the freezer and he saw the meat stacked on top of raw meat stacked on top of cheese, and he went, "Whoa, that can't be allowed!" And as he picked up the raw meat, he went, "It's still bloody living."
Yeah, some of those restaurants are nasty.
You think after they've been on that program though, they wouldn't be open much longer? I know Gordon Ramsay does them up and everything. Yeah. But you think if that's how they were before, are they really going to be that much different? If they don't understand you don't put raw meats and cheese together?
Well, that's the thing is a lot of those restaurants, people actually go to them just because they were on the show. And so they'll be able to ride a little bit of a fame for, a year or two until kind of, people kind of forget about it. But yeah, they'll ride the coattails of that show for a couple years off the fame of being on it. And some of them will stay afloat for another year or two, but
I'm
Hey,
gonna
Trey is in the chat.
Hey,
Right
Dre.
around.
What's that, Ron?
I'm gonna go get back to work. I just wanted to pop in and say hi for a
Okay,
couple.
all right, buddy. Say hi to Dre. He just came into the chat.
Hey, Jerry, Dre.
Right around.
See you guys. Have a great day.
Yep.
Catch you later on.
That's right.
Bye bye.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, the fact that I worked in the catering industry, that but now if I went to somewhere and I saw one thing out of place, I'd be like, nah, you're all right.
It's a tough business to get into for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I walk into McDonald's and if I see the chips, where they've kicked them under the fryer, I tell the member of staff, I'll go, get a brush and get them cleaned up, mate. That's disgusting.
Yeah, if I had to start a business, I definitely would not get into the restaurant business.
No.
Screw that.
I mean, it's really hard over here because every member of staff has to go through constant training. Even your kitchen porters and your chefs and that, they've all got to keep up to date with their health and safety and health and hygiene and stuff. And you just get random people just come in and go, let me look in your fridge. And if they spot one thing wrong, the whole restaurant's just shut down instantly. They're like, see ya.
See, one of the problems over here in a lot of areas is the fucking health department tells you when they're coming. So some places will clean up before they get there.
Oh, yeah, that's just ridiculous.
And I'm like, why the hell do you tell them you're coming? Just pop in randomly. But there's some places they just tell them, hey, we're coming this date, and then they'll get it all cleaned up before they get there.
Yeah, I mean, the takeaway industry over here is bad, but the actual restaurants themselves, the
Later now.
health and safety and health and hygiene are certainly on it. When I worked at the Vineyard Hotel, I remember we just had the inspection and they said the only thing you have to do is lift the potato peeler up and put it on a metal pallet instead of a wooden pallet. It's like, yeah, all right, not a problem. Off they went. 2 days later, they were back and did another inspection. But they do that to catch you out, see if you're, you heard a rumor they were coming.
Right.
So they'll sometimes they'll pop in, in a short space of time and catch you later, time to fly.
Well, it's it's hard to be in any kind of business nowadays.
Yeah. I actually thought we were going to burst into song then, Paul. Do a bit of Lulu.
Well,
Well, it depends on what state you're in too. Some states are a lot harder to, there's so many regulations. It makes it hard for small businesses.
Well, and the other thing that makes it hard on businesses is that, if you're trying to start something and it's unskilled labor, you're just hiring people to do a task. It's hard to sort through them because those people are always continually looking to move up. So it's like,
Well, that's what I said. When you're working fast food, a lot of people don't feel invested in the company.
Yeah,
Right.
Your employees don't feel like it's a good career and it's a good investment for their life in general. They're not going to give you the best quality work, period.
Yeah, I think that's why over here they have this health and hygiene courses that you have to go on. And so, I mean, some of the stuff is just so basic. Like it says, you have a sink and 4 bottles of bleach, 2 bottles of washing liquid, and 4 cloths. Where do you store the items? Underneath it? cloths in a tray.
Yeah.
And that's like like take like FPU for example, the gas company here. They rarely ever lose an employee because they pay very well, and the employees feel like it's an investment, a good career path for them, and so they don't really have a problem with turnover rate versus places like McDonald's, Walmart. These places have such a high turnover rate; it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they are what I call stepping stone jobs. You take them, just to say you've had that job and move on.
Like McDonald's, a lot of restaurant fast food places. I mean, every 2 weeks they got almost a completely new staff. I mean, just because of that, like.
Yeah, the biggest mistake I made when I worked at the Vineyard was on my second night at work. The chef said, "I want you to make sure all the kitchen is spotless." And I went round the front and they got these trays that they make Yorkshire puddings in. Now, I didn't know this, but the more burnt a Yorkshire pudding tray is, the better the Yorkshire pudding comes out of it. So I saw these burnt trays and I picked them up and I got them doing like brand new. And I put them back in the side. Oh, yeah, with a head chef go, "What the beep, beep?" There were pans flying everywhere. I was like, "The hell's wrong with him?" I never made that mistake again.
Well, yeah, chefs that make a lot of money at really nice restaurants, they don't play around. I mean, they take their jobs really serious.
Yeah. I mean, Mac, when he was in the kitchen serving food and everything, because he always wants the kitchen so the customers could see the food being made. So they knew it was all fresh. When he was there, the cursing and the things flying around, and then
he was like Ramsey.
Yeah, but soon as the shift finished, he'd come out and he was a different person. He was like, just come out. He was like this really calm guy, and he'd be like, "Right, guys, who wants a drink at the bar?"
Well, he took his job serious, but he also knows how to separate work from
Yeah,
his personal life. That's an important thing to be able to do too. Is don't bring your work home with you.
yeah, and don't take your home life to work.
Right, because a lot of people do get really super, they get stressed out at work. They take that home and take it out on their family and everything else. You just can't do that.
I mean, it's hard when you're self-employed, but yeah. Could you imagine you're working in McDonald's and you finish your shift and you go home and you tell your missus, "Get us some dinner on your way home," and she comes on with a McDonald's.
Like I don't talk about work at all unless they're asking about it. Like she might ask me every once in a while how was work, but other than that, I don't ever talk about it. I just whatever. Granted, this job hasn't been as stressful as like when I worked at Walmart. That was super stressful being a manager.
Actually,
there.
Justin, you just give me an idea. Laura,
Oh,
when
God.
you finish work, don't discuss it with me. She's my carer. That's her job. Got to bring your work home.
Too
gonna
late for
leave you
that.
out.
She already did bring you home.
Yeah, she's just gonna leave him outside by the front door. Be like, "Well, I'm home, so you gotta stay out here." Yeah, when I worked at Walmart, though, I was always stressed out because just the amount of work they'd give you to do on one person was ridiculous. And then they'd get pissed off because you couldn't finish it. you know, you get these store managers would come in and they'd be like, why couldn't you do this in an 8-hour shift, right? And then you tell them, well, you can't do it, right? And then they'd come back in with like 6 assistant managers and they'd spend 12 hours doing it. And they'd be like, look, we did it. Yeah, well, you also had 6 managers with you and you guys were here for 12 hours. No wonder you got it done. Like,
Yeah.
that was how they would compare it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then, see, I got wrote up twice because I refused to write up the employees below me for stuff that I knew was out of their control because it's common freaking sense. But see, the upper management didn't look at it that way. I got wrote up twice protecting people below me because I refused to write them up
Yeah. The
for
only
stupid shit.
and the only job where I could say where I respected the management was my job at Asda.
You should have saw the screaming matches we used to have at Walmart. Oh my God. And the
Yeah,
manager's
but this store I worked at, Asda Blackpool, the staff at Asda today, they wouldn't know what the hell's hit them because although the managers were hard on you and said, I want this doing and I want that doing and so on, they would actually come and help you. They would move around the store and they would talk to you while you're working to make sure everything that you were doing was okay, your life was all right and stuff. And it was a good system. No other place have I worked at, apart from Asda Blackpool, that the managers did that. I mean, the big store manager coming out in the evening after he's supposed to have gone home and he was filling shelves with you.
Yeah, we used to have some bad screaming matches in the manager's office back when I worked there.
Yes. What? Why are you staring at me? What do you want? Do you want a milkshake? What are you after then?
Nothing.
And why are you stood there like you're the Grim Reaper? Oh, cool. Laura's here to kill me.
I'm cold.
I'm gonna have to remove Zoom, I think,
Why?
because it's munching my processor and my CPU is at 60 degrees.
Wow.
That's bloody hot.
So take off all its clothes.
In fact, if you go in the kitchen and get me a couple of slices of bread, I'll be able to toast it.
Well, I think I'm gonna call it. We're down to just a few people watching and pretty much
Oh.
everything's been said.
Now I'm here. Oh.
Yeah, I would.
Well, I got one more thing to say. Shut it, Laura.
I would disown you again, Justin.
Laura, are you going live this afternoon?
I'm just about to go set up.
Yeah, we are.
There you go. Okay. Everybody, I'm going to call it a day here and we'll be on later tonight. Laura will be up next. So go over and see Laura.
Hey, forget Laura. Come over to my channel.
Yeah, David.
I'm live at 4 o'clock as well.
I'm doing
When are you
American.
guys going live?
Yeah, Laura's doing American trucks. I'm doing Euro trucks.
Oh,
Okay, everybody. Hey, thanks for being here. Justin, take care.
I'll see
David, Laura, we'll see all of you again later.
Yeah, catch you later on.